Good day, YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different video on YouTube. And of course, yes, I'm making this video on the very last day of April of 2024. Of course, I could probably be like that emoji here, smiling the hell out of the way of my misery, but I've got some very terrifying and very terrible news and very saddening news I'll have to share with you. I'm actually being diagnosed by borderline personality disorder. Now, how that came about is going to be a very dramatic story to amongst a whole bunch of people who are watching my videos on my YouTube channel. You may have noticed that I actually was very, very angry yesterday about the buses that were pretty much chopping and changing routes on Sunday. And I think it was bus 76. But there was another one thing here, and I'm not actually going to pretty much yell or pretty much do angry stuff. I'm not going to pretty much sound like I'm complaining about things and whatnot. And as you may have noticed recently on my YouTube channel, there has been an upward trend of some very angry related content on YouTube. And I think that's going to be one of the hardest bits of my life, is to probably express on how I actually feel, and at the same time not to make the same mistake ever again. Because, in life there is a whole bunch of mistakes, and there are a whole bunch of learning processes along the way here. So, as I'm making this pretty radical video, which is actually going to be sounding very unfortunate, because you may have noticed that I've actually been suffering from borderline personality disorder. Well, it actually turns out that the borderline personality disorder was actually heavily derived after the argument. I think it was a little run-in that I had. I think it was with the sax right in front of me, and I was being told to watch the sax, but I went, okay, when I heard that, I got quite angry. I raised my voice again, which unfortunately led me to a complete recession of a ginormous, diabolical, and very evil rabbit hole of such trauma that came out over the last 2 decades, I think it was. I could probably think of some very bad thoughts I could probably just spark off, as I'm making this video here. I could probably think back to committing suicide back in March of 2018. I think it was the 10th of March, which was on a Saturday, which was very unfortunate before I made my YouTube channel. And this actually came into a bit of a shocking factor, as you may have noticed. I mean, there's a lot of very depressive moments that I had, especially what happened to, that trip to Winterbourne House Gardens, which was like one of the biggest thumbs down of all the trips that I went to so far this year. Sorry, I got quite angry about thinking about that. Of course, there was this. What's that Poundland shop in Malaysia called? Is it called Eco Shop? Where I accidentally, I think I accidentally pulled one of the tags out of that Christmas Santa decoration thing, just like the one from like Poundland, I guess. But I didn't do it. I think I did it in Malaysia. It was like a very Malaysian version of Eco Shop. I think Poundland, actually, sorry. Which sells like items for about 2 ringgits. A cheap 2 ringgits, I guess. I suppose so, eh? Somehow it is very nice going to that store, eh? But of course, yes, I committed one of the biggest mistakes, and I actually ended up crying, which in a sense was very embarrassing. Humph. Literally, I actually got into a depressive moment for about 4 days, or 5 days, if you count Tuesday. And I think Tuesday I was actually sobbing right, and I was at the mall here. And of course, it's normal to have very negative emotions. And of course, I know I'm starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed, but it's very hard to pretty much get away with it. It's like, if I'm putting a video on a comedic sense on YouTube and pretty much break the rules on the whole algorithm thing, I could just get away with blue murder. That's how I could really say. And of course, I came along and made this video so that I won't cause another run-in from the next day, of course, because I've got exams tomorrow. And I bet you what, I have to put up with my own face. Not only that, but I think I'm actually pretty much feeling very rather guilty here. And I've actually been committing some very stupid and very dumb activities. I nearly was going to swear then. Luckily for me, I don't actually swear. online, as you may have noticed, unlike some people do, especially my friends, of course. Yes, I do know that when it comes into like making videos on YouTube, I don't often put like swearing. I don't F-bomb or swear. I know some people think I do. I've chatted to a whole bunch of people and stuff, but hey, it's like, growing up is very hard to do, but in reality, since I'm at that age, I have grown up so much now that I've got the power to regulate myself. And that's something I could never be doing when I was a child. Okay, so maybe that's one of the biggest aspects of life, just to somehow think about it. Okay, so there's lots and lots of stuff in life. Uh, Anyways, I mean, there's lots and lots of things that have been bothering me throughout the rest of my life. And of course, yes, I could really think back to that temper tantrum I had when I went to Margate Beach after seeing some kids being told off by a very angry and rowdy mother. The same thing when I unfortunately punched one of the kids when I was about 10 years old, when whoever's mother or father got angry at whoever's child it was, and I punched at them because I knew they were getting victimized by anger, which unfortunately was the wrong thing to do. And I know it's very toxic to have anger. Okay, I know anger is very normal for people though, but yet again, it has to be handled in the right sort of way here. Well, of course, yes, I won't start a rant here. You know why I'm up here, guys. I'm sure you do, but sadly, this is like how the world's being turned out these days. But of course, yes, tomorrow, yes, as I said before, I've got a maths exam, and I'm not sure how it's going to actually turn up. So I'll see how it goes, and probably for that, I see how it turns out, and it turns out all my way in. And actually, I've just worked out why, one thing when I was staying up at night around 2 a.m., I think what it was I was actually watching a lot of scary and horror related content. Okay, so maybe that's what I was doing because I was hearing all of the words downstairs that are aggravating me and nagging me, which in a sense has putting me up into a hissy fit. Well, then I could just watch, the latest Five Nights at Freddy's type video or something like, I could just watch a complete horror film and just get away with it. Okay, I could just definitely, think back, I could just watch, the latest Friday the 13th or a flipping Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. Maybe I could probably watch these horror films and just get away with it. And just for the sake of my, sanctity and for my sanity of just getting rid of my, of my trivial thoughts of being angry at times, well, it doesn't seem to work. But anyway, so yes, I have been. Anyways, going back to the real subject here. So recently in this afternoon, I think it was about 11 a.m. I think it was when I was outside, and I was actually having some suppressively bad thoughts when I was actually at college. And I'd like to say thank you so much to quite a few people at Pink College. And I think I was also suffering some very intrusive thoughts. And also, I think what happened was I was actually kind of behaving badly. You know when I said the black-haired Goomba? I now have to take it back though. I'm really sorry for what I've done now. And, of course, this is the new version of Ivan Lee now as I'm making this video here. I'm like the new Ivan now because even though I'm basically like the old Ivan who was just upgraded to basically a new regulated version of me, I'm still now pretty much learning along the way here. And I mean, of course, yes, why not just don't stop learning? That's the biggest solution to all people alike. Somehow, but anyways, I mean, I've aged so well. And I mean, the stability of me just controlling my emotions has become one of the biggest factors in life. That's, somehow one of the biggest. Okay, so maybe I'm just kind of thinking, well, it may seem impossible, but I tell you what, after thinking about how depressed I was, I'd like to say thank you so much to all of the people who have actually helped me. And I think what it was, when I actually was outside, I actually spoke to Alison and Ruby, who were like 2 staff members at Pink College. And they've actually helped me to deal with the situation I was actually in. And I guess I was actually hiding my emotions. But while hiding my emotions, I was actually trying to reveal how I was feeling from like the previous days, stating that Sunday was a pathetic weekend because of the buses that have changed, and Monday because of the run-in with the Saxon I've been told to watch out, but I got really peed off. Okay, I nearly swore, but luckily enough, I'm not F-bombing or swearing. Okay, so this is what I'm actually doing just to make sure that I'm just being rather sensible as I'm making a genuine video on YouTube that is not just directly aimed at kids, but also for a very wide range of just age demographics, okay? Like something like that, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. I mean, should I make videos for 4-year-olds or 5-year-olds? I don't know, maybe like a very educational basis. Maybe that could be a real change. So, of course, yes, after thinking about that borderline personality disorder, I did go into a recessional suppression of depression, but now with the help from various people alike, I like to say thanks, because after enduring the gazillions of mistakes that I've learnt somehow so far of late, which in a sense, because of those mistakes that I've learnt so far, I'm about to make some more, okay? And I'm also going to do a bit of maths on a newspaper because, well, I've got an exam tomorrow and it's going to be very serious, but requires some very mature determination with that purpose. And, of course, yes, I'm going to leave the video here because I'm about to start training for some maths. And I think I said enough. I think that's about it. And if you really enjoyed this pretty straightforward, sappy little video that I've made, please give this video a like, subscribe for more flat videos in the future. I promise I'll be better enough to make video content on YouTube as long as I'm not overwhelming myself. Maybe I could put off a little video, something a little bit sneaky, at around 5 or 6 a.m. maybe. But yeah, I have to sleep well tonight, so if I'm pretty much suffering from depression, the biggest suggestion is seek help. Get help from someone, especially if you have borderline personality disorder, and that's just the one way I can definitely do so. Seek help or suffer the consequences. Pick one of them and you get the last resort. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye for now. I hope I get better and become the new Ivan, I'm sure. Bye.